I stand at my son's graduation holding two envelopes. One contains his acceptance to Johns Hopkins. The other, proof that my daughter isn't mine. But I'm getting ahead of myself. 3 months ago, I buried my father. Samuel Anderson, 72 years old, owner of Anderson Manufacturing, pillar of our small Ohio town. He raised me to believe in three things: hard work, family loyalty, and that the truth always surfaces. He was right about that last part, just not the way I expected. The morning of Nathan's graduation starts like any other perfect day in the Anderson household. Sun through the kitchen windows, coffee brewing, Christine at the counter in her navy dress, the one that makes her look like she stepped out of a real estate magazine, which makes sense. She's the top agent in 3 counties. Everyone loves Christine Anderson. Everyone trusts her. I watch her straighten Nathan's tie for the 3rd time. Her hands tremble slightly. "Mom, I've got it," Nathan says, but he's smiling. He's 18, valedictorian, pre-med track at Johns Hopkins starting in August. He has my height, my dark hair, my analytical mind. He's everything I hoped he'd be. Christine's phone buzzes on the counter. The screen lights up. "Steven," my brother, calling at 7 in the morning. She declines the call, doesn't look at me. "Uncle Steven's coming, right?" Lily asks from the doorway. She's 9, blonde curls, gap-toothed smile. Our miracle baby. That's what Christine called her when she was born. Our miracle, after the doctors said Christine couldn't have more children. "Of course he is, sweetie," Christine says. Her voice is too bright. He wouldn't miss Nathan's big day. I think about the envelope in my suit jacket pocket, the one I picked up from the lab yesterday, the one with results that Christine and Steven don't know exist yet. Christine's hand trembles as she straightens Nathan's tie one more time. "Your father would be so proud," she whispers. She means my dad. Samuel, the man we buried 3 months ago. I think about the other envelope, the one in my father's will, the strange clause his lawyer read that made everyone in the room go silent, the clause that started all of this. "Dad," Nathan's looking at me. "You okay?" I force a smile. "Just thinking about Grandpa. He'd have loved seeing this." Christine turns away, busies herself with coffee cups. The photo on our mantle catches my eye. From Dad's funeral, the whole family lined up at the graveside, me and Christine, Nathan holding Lily, Steven standing just behind Christine, hand on her shoulder. Too close. I'd thought that at the time, but dismissed it. Grief makes people seek comfort, right? Now I see it differently. Now I see everything differently. "I should get going," I say. "I'll meet you at the school." "Rob, wait." Christine starts, but Nathan's girlfriend Emma arrives and the moment passes. I walk to my car with that photograph burned into my mind. Steven's hand on Christine's shoulder. The way they'd avoided looking at each other all day. How Christine had been the one to organize everything, the funeral, the reception, even sorting Dad's papers. She'd been so helpful, so eager to handle his estate. If you've ever felt something was wrong but couldn't name it, that voice in your gut you almost ignored, you'll understand what happened next. 3 months earlier, the First Baptist Church holds 400 people. For my father's funeral, we pack in 500 and change. Samuel Anderson knew everyone in this town, built them houses, employed their kids, sponsored Little League teams. When he died of a heart attack at his desk, paperwork scattered around him, reading glasses still on, the whole county felt it. I stand at the pulpit reading the eulogy I wrote at 2 in the morning, words I can barely see through the grief. Nathan sits front row, crying quietly. Lily's too young to understand death, really. She keeps asking when Grandpa's coming back. Christine squeezes my hand as I return to my seat. She's been my rock through this, handling caterers, organizing the service, fielding calls. She even packed up Dad's office at the manufacturing plant, said I shouldn't have to face it yet. I should have wondered why she was so eager to handle his papers. Stephen gives the second eulogy. My younger brother, 47 to my 50, always living in my shadow, always asking Dad for money to bail out his latest failed business venture. He's a contractor now, or was. Something about a licensing issue. He's good with his hands, but terrible with planning. Sam Anderson was more than my father, Stephen says, voice cracking. He was my mentor, my hero, the man who taught me that family comes first, always. His eyes cut to Christine for just a second. She shifts in her seat. I tell myself I'm imagining it. The receiving line at the cemetery lasts 2 hours. Mayor Wilson, the Rotary Club, Dad's poker buddies. Everyone has a story about Samuel Anderson's integrity, his fairness, his wisdom. He was sharp as a tack right to the end, Dave Patterson says. Dave's been the family lawyer for 30 years. Came into my office 3 weeks ago to update his will, very specific about what he wanted. Update it? I ask. Why? Dave glances at Christine, then back to me. He had some concerns, said he'd explain later, then he shakes his head. I'm sorry, Rob. He was a good man. They lower Dad into the ground while a Presbyterian minister reads verses about eternal rest. I watch the casket descend and think about the last conversation we had. Dad at his desk, me in the doorway asking if he needed anything. Just be careful, son, he'd said. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. I'd laughed it off, thought maybe the heart medication was making him paranoid. As they lower Dad into the ground, I catch Christine and Stephen exchanging a look across the grave. Not grief, something else, something that makes my stomach turn. Stephen makes an inappropriate joke at the reception about how he hopes Dad left him the good silverware. Christine laughs too loud, then catches herself, touches his arm to shut him up. Too familiar, too fast. I pocket Dad's reading glasses from his desk at the funeral home. The funeral director offered them to me, something to remember him by. They smell like Old Spice and coffee. I slip his watch off his wrist when no one's looking before they close the casket. It's a 1970s Omega Seamaster, scratched crystal, worn leather band. He wore it every single day. I'll give it to Nathan later when the time is right. At the reception, Stephen corners me by the coffee station. We need to talk about the estate, Rob. Dad's business, the house. I know you're executor, but I think we should split everything 50-50. For fairness. Stephen, we literally just buried him. I know. But Christine mentioned he stops himself. I just mean I've been working at the plant for 15 years. I deserve something, right? Christine mentioned. How did Stephen know what Christine and I had discussed in private? We'll deal with it after the will reading, I say. He nods, but there's something in his eyes. Calculation, hunger. Christine appears at his elbow. Stephen, leave him alone, not today. She steers him away, protective, wifely, or something else. Five days later, Dave Patterson gathers us in his law office. Me, Christine, Stephen, and an estate accountant named Martin Hughes. The office smells like old books and lemon furniture polish. Dad's will sits on Dave's desk, cream linen paper, red wax seal, the whole traditional package. Dave clears his throat. Samuel Anderson's estate is valued at approximately $2.3 million. This includes the manufacturing business, the family home, investments, and life insurance. He was very clear about his wishes. Stephen leans forward. The bulk of the estate goes to Robert as primary heir. Dave continues. However, there is an unusual clause. One Samuel added 3 weeks before his death. He slides the will across the desk. I read the paragraph Dave's highlighting. Before final distribution of assets totaling $2.3, the executor shall verify all bloodlines of claimed descendants. DNA testing shall be required for any children born to beneficiaries after January the 1st, 2005. This verification must be completed and filed with the estate court before inheritance distribution. The room goes silent except for the HVAC humming overhead. What the hell? Stephen's voice cracks. Why would Dad write that? What did he think? Christine's hand shoots out, touches his arm, cuts him off, too fast. That's unusual, Christine says carefully. Dave, is this even legal? Perfectly legal, Dave says. Unusual, yes, but Samuel was of sound mind. I witnessed the signing myself. He insisted on this specific language. But why? I ask. My voice sounds distant to my own ears. Did he say why? Dave's eyes meet mine. There's something there. Pity? Warning? He said, my son will understand when the time comes. This is me protecting what matters. Stephen laughs, but it's brittle. Protecting what? From what? This is insane. I'm contesting this. You can try, Martin Hughes says quietly, but DNA verification clauses are increasingly common in estate law, especially in cases where... He pauses. In cases where paternity might be questioned. Christine has gone pale, actually pale. Her hand is still on Stephen's arm. I stare at that hand, at the way Stephen's frozen, at how neither of them is looking at me. When did Dad add this clause? I ask Dave. February 14th, 3 weeks before he died. February 14th, Valentine's Day. The day Christine said she had a work emergency and missed dinner. The day Stephen said he was out of town on a job. The day, I'll learn later, they were together. Why would Dad write that? Stephen asks again, and his voice is different now. Higher, scared. Christine finally removes her hand from his arm, folds both hands in her lap. Picture of composure. Samuel was old, she says. Maybe he was confused. Maybe the heart medication... My father was not confused, I say. Each word comes out hard. He updated his will 3 weeks before he died. He knew exactly what he was doing. Dave shifts uncomfortably. The clause stands. Robert, as executor, you'll need to arrange DNA testing for any relevant descendants born after 2005. Nathan was born in 2006, Lily in 2015. I do the math in my head. Dad's clause covers both of them. Stephen stands abruptly. This is bullshit. I'm getting my own lawyer. He leaves. The door slams. Christine stays, fingers white-knuckled around her purse strap. Rob, she says, honey, your father loved you. This is probably just him being overprotective. You know how he was. How was he? I ask. Just careful. Suspicious sometimes, you know. I didn't know. Dad was the most trusting man I'd ever met. He lent money to friends, hired employees other people wouldn't touch, believed in second chances, unless he had a reason not to trust someone. I'll handle the DNA testing, I tell Dave. Whatever Dad wanted, I'll do it. Christine's fingers tighten on her purse. Of course, whatever you think is best. She kisses my cheek, leaves. I sit in Dave's office after everyone's gone, staring at Dad's will. The red wax seal, his shaky signature. He signed this 3 weeks before dying. His handwriting was already failing, but his mind wasn't. Dave, I say, did my father say anything else? Anything that might explain this? Dave hesitates. Lawyer-client privilege wars with friendship. He said, Dave finally answers, that he couldn't tell you what he suspected, that you'd never believe him without proof, but he could make sure the truth came out after he was gone. He pauses. He said, DNA doesn't lie, Dave. People do. I spend the next week avoiding Christine's attempts to discuss the will. Let's just get the DNA test done and move on, she keeps saying. It's a formality. Too eager. Why is she so eager? Saturday morning, while Christine's showing a house and Lily's at a play date, I go through Dad's study, the mahogany desk we moved from his office after he died. Christine organized everything, packed his papers into labeled boxes, filed his documents, even cleaned out his drawers. Too helpful, too thorough. I pull out the top drawer. Office supplies. The second, old tax returns. The third sticks. I yank harder. It doesn't budge. There's a lock. Small, brass, built into the desk itself. I search for a key. Nothing in the obvious places. No magnetic hide-a-key under the desk. Nothing taped to the bottom of drawers. Then I remember Dad always hid important things in plain sight. I flip the desk calendar. March 2025, the month he died. Under the pages, pressed against the board backing, is a small brass key. The drawer opens. Inside, a yellow post-it note in Dad's handwriting, shaky but legible. Box 447, opened 2015. Underneath the post-it, another small brass key. Engraved on the head, First National Bank, safety deposit. 2015, the year Lily was born. The year Christine said our miracle baby happened despite her infertility. I stare at that key until my vision blurs, until the numbers stop making sense. Then I call First National Bank and make an appointment. Helen Rodriguez has been the manager at First National for 20 years. She knew my father. She tears up when I mention his death. Mr. Anderson was a good man, she says. Always had a kind word. I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you. I found this key in his desk. I slide it across her desk. Box 447, I need to access it. She types on her computer, frowns. Mr. Anderson, this is unusual. What is? Box 447 was rented in 2015, but there are two names on the rental agreement. She turns the screen toward me. Box 447 renters. Christine Anderson, Stephen Anderson. The office tilts. I grip the edge of Helen's desk. Are you all right? Helen asks. Should I get you some water? When was this box opened? Let me check. February 3rd, 2015. Both parties needed to be present for the initial rental. After that, either party could access it alone. She scrolls. Last accessed March 1st, 2025. 3 weeks before your father's death. March 1st, the week Dad updated his will, the week he added the bloodline verification clause. I need to see what's inside, I say. Of course, you're Samuel Anderson's executor, so legally... She trails off, calls a clerk. We'll need to follow protocol, but given the circumstances, I can grant you access. 10 minutes later, I'm in a private viewing room. Gray walls, one metal table, a security camera in the corner. Helen brings in box 447, sets it down gently. I'll give you privacy, she says. Take your time. The lock clicks open. Inside, business ledgers, red leather binders, 10 years of entries in Christine's handwriting, hotel receipts, the Riverside Inn, monthly, sometimes weekly, 2015 to present, a burner phone, silver flip phone, ancient tech, one contact saved, C, property documents, a lake house deed, purchase 2019, listed owner, Stephen Anderson, purchase price $340,000, and at the bottom, wrapped in a rubber band, photographs, Christine and Stephen, the Riverside Inn, February 2015. Her stomach is round, pregnant, with Lily. I press the power button on the burner phone, 3% battery left. The screen flickers to life, text messages, hundreds of them. March 2015, C. Rob can never know. He thinks she's his miracle baby. March 2015, S. She has my eyes. He'll notice eventually. March 2015, C. He won't. He's too trusting, just like his father. 10 years of ledgers, 10 years of hotel receipts, and a burner phone with one contact saved, C. I press the power button, 3% battery left. The screen flickers, dies, but I've seen enough. Martin Hughes is a forensic accountant. 60 years old, reading glasses on a chain, zero tolerance for bullshit. I hire him that afternoon and hand him the red ledgers. Just tell me what I'm looking at, I say. He spreads them across his conference table, flips pages. highlighter squeaking across columns of numbers. These are siphoned funds from Anderson Manufacturing, he says after 20 minutes. Someone with access to your accounts created a shell company, Anderson Consulting LLC, and has been transferring money monthly since 2015. How much? Let me calculate. More squeaking highlighter. Approximately $187,000 over 10 years. Small amounts each month, $1,200 to $1,500, designed to look like legitimate consulting fees. Who's behind Anderson Consulting? Martin pulls up business registry records on his laptop. Registered agent Stephen Anderson, of course. And the ledgers themselves? I ask. Who kept these records? See the handwriting? He points. That's meticulous bookkeeping. Someone tracking exactly how much was taken, when, from which accounts. Almost like they were... He pauses. Like they were keeping insurance. Evidence in case they needed leverage later. Christine's handwriting. I'd know it anywhere. Dave Patterson joins us an hour later. I show him everything. The ledgers, the hotel receipts, the deed to Stephen's lake house. This isn't just an affair, Dave says quietly. This is systematic fraud. Can we prosecute? Absolutely. The statute of limitations is still open on most of these transactions. Embezzlement, fraud, possibly conspiracy. He flips through the ledgers. But Rob, this will destroy your family. Stephen will face criminal charges. Christine could lose her real estate license, and Lily deserves to know the truth, I say, even if it hurts. Martin looks up from his calculator. His face is grim. This isn't just embezzlement, Mr. Anderson, he says. This is systematic fraud with an inside accomplice. He doesn't say her name. He doesn't have to. I don't confront Christine immediately. That's what she'd expect. That's what Stephen would expect. Instead, I wait. I watch. I document. 3 days after the bank, Christine finds me in Dad's study. I'm holding the safety deposit key, turning it over in my fingers. What's that? She asks, too casual, too light. Found it in Dad's desk, I say, a box 447, First National Bank. The color drains from her face. Actually drains. I watch it happen in real time. What would your father need a safety deposit box for? That's what I'm wondering. I set the key on the desk. Watch her eyes track it. The bank said it was opened in 2015. Strange year to open a box, don't you think? Rob, She stops, recalibrates. Honey, your grief is making you suspicious. I'm worried about you. Are you? You've been distant. Nathan's noticed. Even Lily asked why Daddy seems sad all the time. She sits on the edge of the desk, touches my arm. I know losing Samuel was hard, but you're seeing conspiracies where there's just normal family stuff. Your father was old. Maybe he forgot he'd opened a box. Maybe it's empty. It's not empty. Her hand tightens on my arm. What was in it? Business records, mostly. Some old tax documents. Nothing interesting. I'm lying. She knows I'm lying. But she can't call me on it without admitting she knows what should be in that box. Well, that's good, she says. Relief floods her voice. See? Nothing sinister. Just your dad being thorough. Her phone buzzes. Stephen calling. Again, she declines. Doesn't look at me. He's been calling a lot, I observe. He's anxious about the will. You know Stephen. He's always worried about money. She laughs. It sounds forced. I've been trying to calm him down. Tell him you'll do right by him. Have you? Of course. He's your brother. We're family. She stands, smooths her dress. I should start dinner. Nathan will be home soon. She leaves. I watch her go. Then I pick up the key and put it in my pocket. Evidence, insurance, just like Christine taught me. That night, after everyone's asleep, I sit in my car outside Dr. Patricia Morgan's house. She's been Christine's OB-GYN for 20 years. Delivered both Nathan and Lily. I shouldn't be here. I know that, but I need to understand. At 7 the next morning, I'm waiting in Dr. Morgan's office when she arrives. "Rob Anderson," she says, surprised. "Is everything all right? Is Christine..." "Christine's fine. I need to ask you about her medical history, specifically her fertility issues." Dr. Morgan's face shifts. Professional mask slides into place. "You know, I can't discuss a patient's..." "My father's will requires DNA verification for inheritance distribution," I interrupt. "Christine told me she was diagnosed with infertility after Nathan. That Lily was a miracle baby. I need to verify that claim." "Rob, I really can't..." "Please." My voice cracks. "I need to know if my wife has been lying to me for 9 years. Dr. Morgan sits down heavily, stares at her hands. "Off the record," she says finally. "Completely off the record. Off the record. Christine was never diagnosed with infertility. Not by me. Not by anyone in my practice." She looks up. "Her reproductive health was never compromised. Both pregnancies were natural, healthy, normal." The office tilts. "But she had a letter," I say, "from a fertility clinic, 2006, said she couldn't have more children." "What clinic?" "Riverside Fertility Clinic." Dr. Morgan types on her computer. "Rob, Riverside Fertility closed in 2007. They were investigated for insurance fraud, forged diagnoses, fake treatment plans." She turns the screen toward me. A news article from 2007. "Riverside Fertility Clinic shuttered after fraud investigation." "Someone gave you false information," Dr. Morgan says carefully. "Christine's medical records show no fertility issues. Lily's birth in 2015 was natural conception. No treatments, no interventions." I can't breathe. The air in this office is too thick. "Mr. Anderson?" Dr. Morgan stands. "Should I call someone?" "No, I'm fine." "I'm not fine." "Thank you for telling me." "Rob," she catches my arm at the door, "whatever's happening in your marriage, now protect yourself. Document everything. And for God's sake, protect those kids." Here's where I need your perspective. If someone you loved had been lying for 10 years, fabricating medical conditions, manipulating your decisions, would you, A, confront them immediately and risk them destroying evidence, or B, gather everything first and expose them when they can't run? Comment A or B. I choose B, because I need to understand how deep this goes, how long Dad knew, why he stayed silent. The answer is in his study. I know it is. I go through the desk again, every drawer, every file, looking for what I missed. The bottom left drawer has a false bottom. I'd never noticed before, but when I pull out the hanging files, I see it. A thin sheet of wood that doesn't quite fit flush. I pry it up with a letter opener. Underneath, a leather journal. Brown, worn corners, smell of old paper and tobacco. Dad's handwriting on the first page. Private, Samuel Anderson, 2015-2025. My hands shake opening it. October 12th, 2015, saw Christine and Stephen today at the Riverside Inn. Rob was in Chicago for the Manufacturing Expo. I followed them inside, watched them check in together. Room 314. Should I tell Rob? What if I'm wrong? What if there's an innocent explanation? But the way Stephen touched her back, the way she looked at him, what if I destroy his family over a misunderstanding? Dardiksha 3rd, I'm 15. Christine had the baby. A girl, Lily. Rob is overjoyed. Keeps calling her his miracle baby. She doesn't have the Anderson nose. The nose Rob has, Nathan has, I have. Lily has Stephen's nose. Stephen's eyes. I'm not wrong. March 15th, 2018. Went to the bank today. Followed Christine. She went into a safety deposit room with Stephen. They were there for an hour. Checked the registry afterward. Box 447. Both their names. Told Dave Patterson I want to update my will. I can't tell Rob directly. He'd never believe his own brother capable of this. He loves Christine, trusts her completely. But I can force the truth out after I'm gone. I can protect him from the grave. December 8th, 2020, Stephen asked for another loan today, $50,000 for his business. I said no. He got angry, said I've always favored Rob, always given him everything. He's right. Because Rob earned it. Rob stayed loyal. Rob never betrayed his family, but I can't tell Stephen I know. Not yet. If I confront him, he'll run. He'll take Christine with him. He'll destroy Rob's life just to spite me. I have to wait, document, prepare. January 28th, 2025. Blood test came back. Heart disease. Doctor says I have months, maybe a year. Changed the will today. Added the bloodline verification clause. Dave asked if I was sure. I've never been more sure of anything. I can't tell Rob what I suspect. He'd never believe me without proof. But DNA doesn't lie. After I'm gone, the truth will come out. Rob will have evidence. Legal grounds. I'm sorry I'm a coward, son, but I'll protect you from the grave. The last page is torn out, ripped raggedly, but there's an indent from his pen pressed into the paper beneath. I angle it under the desk lamp. The words appear in relief. Forgive me, Robert. I drop the journal, press my palms against my eyes. Dad knew. For 10 years he knew. He watched Stephen betray me, watched Christine lie to my face, watched Lily grow up calling me daddy while knowing she wasn't mine, and he said nothing. Because he loved me. Because he knew I'd never believe him. Because the only way to make me see was to force the truth after his death. When I couldn't argue, couldn't deny, couldn't forgive without evidence. The leather journal smells like tobacco and Old Spice, Dad's cologne. I press it to my face and cry for the first time since his funeral. Not for myself, not even for the affair, for my father, who died keeping my family intact, who carried this secret to his grave so I wouldn't have to carry it while he lived, who loved me enough to become the bad guy, the paranoid old man, the one who added the crazy clause to his will, so I could have proof, so I could have justice, so I wouldn't spend the rest of my life wondering if I'd imagined it all. My father died thinking he was a coward for not speaking up, but he protected me the only way he knew how. If you've ever had someone love you from a distance, a parent, grandparent, or friend who tried to shield you even when it cost them, type thank you for them below. They need to know it mattered. The front door slams. Stephen's voice from the living room. Rob, we need to talk, now. I slide Dad's journal into my desk drawer, lock it, pocket the key. Stephen's in the doorway before I can stand. He looks terrible, unshaven, eyes red, shirt wrinkled. The will, he says without preamble. That bloodline clause. You can't seriously be going through with it. Dad's wishes were clear. Dad was senile, paranoid. Careful, I say quietly. That's my father you're talking about. Stephen laughs. It's bitter, desperate. Your father, right, because he was always yours, wasn't he? His favorite, his perfect son. I was just the screw-up, the disappointment. Stephen, no. He steps into the study. You owe me, Rob. I've been in Dad's shadow my whole life, working at that plant, taking orders from you, watching you get everything while I get scraps. You embezzled $187,000 from my company. The words land like a slap. Stephen goes white. I don't know what your Anderson Consulting LLC, your shell company, monthly transfers for 10 years. Want me to keep going? Stephen's mouth opens, closes. The lake house, I continue. Purchased 2019, $340,000. Where'd you get that kind of money on a contractor's salary? Rob, listen. Safety deposit box 447, First National Bank. Opened February 2015. You and Christine want to tell me what's in there? Or should I? Stephen backs toward the door. You can't prove anything. I have the ledgers in Christine's handwriting. I have hotel receipts. I have photographs. I stand. I have everything, Stephen. Dad made sure of it. Lily deserves security, Stephen says, and his voice cracks. She's family. You can't just... Grandpa wouldn't want you to beg, Uncle Stephen. Nathan's voice from the stairs. We both turn. He's standing there in his track uniform, gym bag over his shoulder. How much did he hear? Nathan, Stephen starts. You should go, Nathan says. His voice is cold. My dad asked you to leave. Stephen looks at me, at Nathan, at the desk where Dad's journal is hidden. This isn't over, he says. He leaves. The front door slams. Nathan stays in the doorway. How long have you known? A few weeks. About Uncle Stephen and Mom? So he's figured it out. Of course he has. He's my son. Analytical. Smart. Yeah. Is Lily... I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out. Nathan sits in Dad's leather chair, the one I can't bring myself to sit in yet. Grandpa knew, Nathan says. It's not a question. How'd you figure that? The will clause. It was too specific, too targeted. Nathan looks at me. And before he died, Grandpa pulled me aside at the hospital. He said, watch over your father. He's going to need you. My throat tightens. I asked what he meant, Nathan continues. He just smiled, said, your father's a good man. Sometimes good men need help seeing what's right in front of them. Then he made me promise, made me swear I'd be there for you. Nathan, what did Grandpa see, Dad? I pull out the journal, hand it to him. Nathan reads in silence, 10 minutes, 15. When he looks up, his eyes are wet. He loved you, Nathan says. Grandpa, he loved you so much he'd rather you hate him for being paranoid than watch them destroy you. I know. What are you going to do? What Dad wanted me to do. Find the truth. Document everything. Make sure they can't hide anymore. Nathan holds up the journal. This is evidence. Yeah. So's the safety deposit box, the hotel receipts, the ledgers. Yeah. You need DNA results. I look at my son, 18 years old, about to start college, should be worrying about dorm rooms and class schedules. Instead, he's helping me dismantle his family. I ordered a DNA test kit, I admit. It arrives tomorrow. For Lily. For Lily and us, just to be sure. Nathan nods. When will you tell Mom? When I have proof she can't talk her way out of. He stands, crosses the room, hugs me. I'm glad you're my dad, he says into my shoulder. No matter what the DNA says, you're my dad. I hold him tight. This is what Stephen and Christine tried to take from me, but they failed because Dad protected us, because Nathan's strong, because the truth, however ugly, is better than beautiful lies. The DNA kit arrives in a plain white box, 2 cheek swabs, 2 sealed envelopes, instructions in clinical language. I do Nathan's first. He sits on his bed while I swab the inside of his cheek. Why are you testing me? He asks. You know I'm yours. Because the will requires verification for all children born after 2005, and because I need to be thorough. You think Mom cheated more than once? I don't know what to think anymore. I seal Nathan's sample, label it, set it aside. Lily's is harder. She's asleep in her room, nightlight casting unicorn shadows on the wall. Blonde curls spread across her pillow. She looks like an angel. She looks like Stephen. I've been avoiding that thought, but standing here, swab in hand, I can't avoid it anymore. The nose, the eyes, the chin. How did I miss it for 9 years? Because I loved her. Because I wanted her to be mine. Because Christine said, miracle baby. And I believed in miracles. I swab Lily's cheek while she sleeps. She doesn't even stir. Trust me completely. I've never felt more like a monster, even though I'm the only one telling the truth. Dave Patterson handles the lab submission. Gene DX clinical testing results in 7 to 10 business days. What will you do if... Dave starts. When? I correct. Not if, when. When the results confirm your suspicions. I'm going to expose them publicly with witnesses. Dave frowns. Rob, think about this. A private confrontation might be... They've had 10 years of private, 10 years of lies and theft and betrayal. I lean forward. My father died protecting me from the grave. The least I can do is make sure everyone knows what they did to him, to me, to our family. What about Lily? She's 9 years old, innocent in all this. Which is why I'm waiting until I have undeniable proof. So when Christine tries to spin this, when Stephen tries to play victim, everyone will know the truth, Lily included. Dave's quiet for a long moment. Your father would be proud of you, he finally says, and heartbroken both at once. Yeah, that sounds about right. The results arrive on a Tuesday. Plain white envelope, Gene DX logo, confidential. Paternity test results stamped in red. I'm alone in my office at the manufacturing plant when the mail comes. I hold the envelope for 10 minutes without opening it. Schrodinger's cat. As long as I don't open it, both realities exist. Lily is mine and isn't mine. Nathan is mine and isn't mine. My family is real and isn't real. I think about Dad's journal, his 10 years of knowing and not knowing simultaneously. I open the envelope. Sample. A. Nathan Anderson. Probability of paternity between Robert Anderson and Nathan Anderson. 99.98% relationship. Biological father confirmed. Relief floods through me. Nathan is mine. Whatever else Christine did, she gave me my son. Sample B. Lily Anderson. Probability of paternity between Robert Anderson and Lily Anderson. 0.0% relationship. Biological father excluded. And there it is. The truth Dad died protecting me from. The truth that will destroy the woman who gave birth to her. I read the next page. Comparative analysis. Stephen Anderson DNA from company medical records. Probability of paternity between Stephen Anderson and Lily Anderson. 99.97% relationship. Biological father confirmed. I'd submitted Stephen's DNA from our company health screening without his knowledge. Probably illegal. I don't care. I hold 2 envelopes now. Nathan's acceptance to Johns Hopkins, which arrived yesterday, and proof that will destroy the woman who gave birth to him. Graduation is in 3 days. Perfect timing. That night, Christine finds me in Dad's study. I'm holding the DNA results. I don't hide them. What's that? She asks. Lab results. For what? You'll find out soon enough. She stares at the envelope, at my face, at the journal on my desk. Rob, whatever you're thinking, I'm not thinking anything. I'm knowing. There's a difference. Honey, don't. The word comes out sharp. Don't call me that. Don't touch me. Don't lie to me anymore. I haven't. 3 days, I say. In 3 days, everyone will know everything. And you won't be able to smile your way out of it. You won't be able to cry and manipulate and make me feel crazy for seeing what's right in front of me. Christine's mask finally cracks. You can't do this. Think about Nathan, about Lily. I am thinking about them. I'm thinking about what they deserve, the truth. A father who doesn't let people use him, a father who protects them. Please. Her voice breaks. Please, Rob, don't do this at graduation. Don't ruin Nathan's day. I'm not ruining anything. You did that 10 years ago. She leaves. I hear her crying in the bedroom. I feel nothing. Nathan knocks on my door an hour later. Is it done? Did the results come? I hand him the envelope. He reads, closes his eyes. So I'm yours. You've always been mine. And Lily. Stevens. Nathan sits heavily. Jesus. I'm telling everyone at graduation during the family photo session. Christine wanted the perfect pictures. I'm going to give her exactly that. Dad, that's... Nathan stops. Actually, that's perfect. Witnesses, public. She can't run. Exactly what I was thinking. Grandpa would approve. I think about Dad's journal, the last torn page. Forgive me, Robert. Yeah, I say. He would. 2 days until graduation. Christine avoids me. Stephen calls 16 times. I don't answer. Nathan asks if he can change his valedictorian speech. What do you want to add? I ask. A section about Grandpa, about integrity, about doing the right thing even when it costs you everything. That's perfect. I thought so. He shows me the draft. There's a line that makes my throat tight. My grandfather taught me that the truth isn't always comfortable. It isn't always convenient, but it's always worth fighting for, even from the grave. You can't say that, I tell him. People will know. Good, Nathan says. Let them. The day before graduation, I organize my evidence. Dad's will, the journal, the safety deposit box key, the business ledgers, the hotel receipts, the photographs, the DNA results, everything in a leather briefcase. Dad's briefcase, the one he carried to work for 30 years. I invite Dave Patterson to graduation. I'll need a witness, I tell him. Rob, are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything. I call Helen Rodriguez at the bank. I need you to testify if necessary about the safety deposit box. Mr. Anderson, I'm happy to help. Your father was a good man. I text my Aunt Patricia, Dad's sister. Something's going to happen at graduation. I need you there. I'll explain after. She responds immediately. I'll be there, whatever you need. Stephen sends one final text. Let's celebrate at dinner tonight. We need to finalize the estate split. I type back, see you at graduation. He has no idea I've already finalized everything. The night before graduation, I can't sleep. I stand in Lily's doorway, watching her breathe. She's innocent. She didn't choose this. She calls me daddy because I'm the only father she's ever known, and tomorrow that ends. But it has to, because lies compound, because secrets metastasize, because Dad taught me that the truth is worth fighting for, even when it destroys you. I think about the watch, Dad's watch, still in my drawer. Tomorrow, after everything, I'll give it to Nathan. Pass the legacy forward. The legacy of men who protect their families, who tell the truth, who don't let betrayal win. I hold 2 envelopes, Nathan's acceptance to Johns Hopkins, and proof that my daughter isn't mine. Graduation is in 12 hours. I've waited long enough. Graduation morning, sun streaming through the kitchen windows, the smell of coffee and Christine's anxiety. She's been up since 5, perfecting her makeup, choosing the right dress. Navy blue, professional. The kind of outfit that says, respectable family woman. She's thought of everything except the truth. Nathan comes downstairs in his cap and gown, black robes, gold honor cords. Valedictorian, my son. Ready? I ask. More than ready. Christine forces brightness into her voice. Let me get a picture. Our graduate. She poses Nathan by the fireplace, snaps photos. Her hands are shaking. Where's Lily? I ask. Still getting dressed. You know how she is with her hair? Christine's smile doesn't reach her eyes. Rob, can we talk before we go? Nothing to talk about. Please, I want today to be perfect for Nathan. Whatever issues we're having, can we just put them aside for one day? I check my watch, Dad's watch, the one I'm going to give Nathan later. Today will be exactly what it needs to be, I say. The doorbell rings. Extended family arriving. My Aunt Patricia, Christine's mother, cousins, Nathan's girlfriend Emma, and Stephen. Walking in like he owns the place, khakis and a sport coat, big smile, claps me on the shoulder. Big day, brother, he says. Nathan's achievement, the whole family together. We should celebrate tonight, maybe discuss the estate. I've been thinking 55-45 split might be fair, given my years at the plant. I look at his hand on my shoulder. The hand that touched my wife. The hand that signed documents stealing from my company. We'll discuss everything today, I say. I promise. Christine appears with Lily, blonde curls perfectly arranged, white dress with flowers. She runs to Stephen first. Uncle Stephen! She hugs his legs. He picks her up, spins her. There's my favorite girl. Our eyes meet over Lily's head. He doesn't know what's coming. He thinks he's won. Christine's phone is in her hand, camera ready. Family photo before we go? Save it for after the ceremony, I say. I have something planned. The high school gymnasium holds 800 people. It's packed. Graduation at small town schools is major. Everyone comes. Mayor Wilson, business owners, Dad's old friends. Dave Patterson sits 3 rows behind us. Aunt Patricia to my left. Helen Rodriguez from the bank near the back. All the witnesses I need. Nathan's valedictorian speech is scheduled after the diploma ceremony. I watch him at the podium, confident, clear-voiced. My son. My grandfather, Samuel Anderson, died 3 months ago. Nathan begins. He taught me many things. How to change a tire, how to balance a checkbook, how to treat people with respect. Christine shifts beside me. Stephen's in the row behind, leaning forward. But the most important thing Grandpa taught me was about integrity, Nathan continues. He said, the truth isn't always comfortable, it isn't always convenient, but it's always worth fighting for. He lived that principle, even when it cost him. Nathan's eyes find mine, even from the grave. The audience applauds. Christine's clapping, but her smile is frozen. Nathan steps down. The ceremony ends. Families flood the gymnasium floor for photos. Let's get that family picture now, Christine says, too bright, too eager. Everyone together, Rob, you, me, Nathan, Lily, and Stephen, I add. He should be in the picture too. After all, he's family. Stephen grins. If you insist. We gather by the stage. The photographer Christine hired, professional, expensive, positions us carefully. Christine in the center, me and Nathan to her right, Lily and Stephen to her left. Perfect family, the photographer says. Everyone smile. Wait, I say. I pull the envelope from my suit jacket, the DNA results. Before we take this picture, there's something everyone should know. Christine's face drains of color. Rob, not here. My father's will contained an unusual clause, I say loudly, clearly. People nearby stop talking, turn to watch. He required DNA verification for all descendants before inheritance distribution. Stephen laughs nervously. Rob, come on, not the time. I thought it was strange, paranoid even, but Dad was very specific. I open the envelope. He wanted bloodlines verified, so I did. Rob, please. Christine reaches for the envelope. I step back. Dave Patterson has moved closer. Aunt Patricia's recording on her phone. Helen Rodriguez is watching from 10 feet away. Witnesses, just like I planned. The DNA results came back yesterday, I say. I read from the lab report, voice steady. Sample A, Nathan Anderson. Probability of paternity between Robert Anderson and Nathan Anderson, 99.98%. Biological father confirmed. Nathan stands straighter, relief visible on his face. Sample B, Lily Anderson. I pause. Let the silence build. A probability of paternity between Robert Anderson and Lily Anderson, 0.0%. Biological father excluded. The gymnasium goes quiet. Everyone within earshot has stopped moving. Christine's mouth opens. No sound comes out. Comparative analysis, I continue. Probability of paternity between Stephen Anderson and Lily Anderson, 99.97%. Biological father confirmed. Stephen's face is gray. This is insane. You can't just... We can explain the safety deposit box you shared for 10 years? I pull out the key. Set it on the photo backdrop table. Box 447, First National Bank, both your names, opened February 2015. Helen Rodriguez nods. I can confirm that. Explain the $187,000 you embezzled from Anderson Manufacturing. I pull out the red ledgers, Christine's handwriting visible on every page. Anderson Consulting LLC, your shell company, monthly transfers, 10 years of theft, all documented. Martin Hughes steps forward from the crowd. I've completed the forensic audit. Those numbers are accurate. Explain the hotel receipts? I spread them on the table. The Riverside Inn, 2015 to present. Monthly meetings, sometimes weekly. Stephen backs away. You can't prove... I can prove everything. Dad made sure of it. I pull out the journal. Brown leather. Dad's handwriting. He knew. For 10 years he knew. He watched you betray me. Watched Christine lie to my face. Watched Lily grow up calling me Daddy. I opened to the key entry. Read aloud. March 15th, 2018. Lily has Stephen's eyes. God forgive me, I'm not wrong. Christine is crying now. Real tears. Rob, please, not in front of everyone, the kids. The kids deserve the truth. Nathan deserves to know his mother lied about his sister. Lily deserves to know who her real father is. I look at Stephen. Congratulations, brother. You're a father. Hope you're ready for child support. The crowd has grown. 50 people, 100, phones out, recording. Christine grabs my arm. This is cruel. You're being cruel. We can talk about this privately. You wanted the perfect family photo, Christine. I gesture to the photographer. Smile. She drops my arm like it burned her. Nathan steps beside me, solid, present. I stand with my dad, my real dad. Lily starts crying. She doesn't understand. She's 9. She reaches for me. I pick her up anyway because I'm the only father she's ever known. Christine reaches for her. Lily, baby, no. I step back. You don't get to comfort her. You created this mess. You live with it. Stephen's voice cracks. Rob, I'm your brother. You were my brother, past tense. I set Lily down gently, kneel beside her. Lily, sweetheart, I need you to go with Aunt Patricia right now, okay? Everything's going to be okay. Aunt Patricia takes Lily's hand, leads her away from the carnage. I stand, face Christine and Stephen, the whole gymnasium watching. My father wrote in his will, verify all bloodlines before distribution. I thought he was being paranoid. Turns out he was being protective. He knew I'd never believe him without proof, so he left me a trail. The safety deposit key, the journal, the will clause. I pull out the will, read the section aloud. DNA doesn't lie, Dave. People do. Those were Dad's last words to his lawyer. He died protecting me from you, and I'm going to make sure everyone knows what you did to him. Christine's mask has shattered completely. Tears streaming, mascara running. You're destroying our family. You destroyed our family 10 years ago. My voice echoes in the gymnasium. You destroyed it when you slept with my brother, when you got pregnant with his child and told me she was a miracle, when you stole from my company to fund your affair, when you manipulated me for a decade. We can fix this. There's nothing to fix. It's done. We're done. Stephen tries one more time. The inheritance, Dad wanted justice. He's getting it. I turn to Dave Patterson, file the papers, restraining order, divorce proceedings, fraud charges, all of it. Dave nods, already prepared. By midnight, Christine has moved to her mother's house. Stephen is served with criminal fraud charges, and the town that loved the perfect Anderson family now knows every ugly truth. The photographer never did get that family picture. If you've ever seen a facade crumble in real time, you know there's no going back. The next 2 weeks are a controlled demolition. Christine's real estate firm puts her on indefinite leave after 47 missed calls from clients who saw the graduation videos. Someone posted it on Facebook. It went viral locally, then regionally. Cheating wife exposed at son's graduation. 2.3 million views. Stephen's contractor's license gets flagged for review. Turns out you can't hold a professional license while under criminal investigation for fraud. His business partner dissolves their LLC within 72 hours. Christine tries calling. I don't answer. She tries coming to the house. The restraining order keeps her 200 yards away. She sends emails, long ones, apologizing, explaining, begging. I delete them unread. Stephen tries a different approach. Anger, threats, lawyers. His lawyer quits after seeing the evidence. I can't defend this, the man says. It's too clean, too documented. Because Dad made sure of it. 10 years of documentation. Dates, times, amounts, locations. My father protected me from the grave better than most people protect their families while living. The legal proceedings move faster than I expected. Week 3, Stephen is formally charged with embezzlement and fraud. The district attorney loves the case. Business owner defrauded by his own brother, perfect for their tough-on white-collar crime initiative. Week 4, Christine's real estate license is suspended pending ethics investigation. You can't forge documents, even old fertility clinic letters, and keep a professional license. The state board doesn't care that it was personal. Week 6, the civil lawsuit I file against Stephen goes to summary judgment. Martin Hughes' forensic audit is ironclad. Judge Paulson rules in my favor without even going to trial. $187,000 in restitution plus $50,000 in penalties, Judge Paulson says, and Mr. Stephen Anderson is permanently barred from employment at Anderson Manufacturing or any affiliated entities. Stephen sits at the defendant's table, gray-faced. His new lawyer, the fourth one, just shakes his head. Week 8. The custody hearing, Christine fights for joint custody of Lily. Her lawyer argues that I'm being vindictive, that Lily needs her mother. Your Honor, I say, I'm not trying to separate Lily from her mother. I'm trying to protect Lily from a woman who's lied to her about her own paternity for 9 years. A woman who committed fraud, who betrayed her family systematically. Judge Morrison reviews the evidence, the DNA results, the hotel receipts, Christine's own ledgers documenting the embezzlement. Mrs. Anderson, Judge Morrison says, your pattern of deception is incompatible with the child's welfare. Primary custody is awarded to Mr. Robert Anderson. You'll have supervised visitation twice monthly, pending completion of family therapy. Christine sobs. Her lawyer comforts her. I feel nothing. Week 10. Stephen's contractor's license is formally revoked by the state board. Moral turpitude, they call it, fraud against family, misuse of business credentials. He can't work in construction in Ohio anymore. Can't bid on jobs. Can't get bonded. His ex-wife, the one from his first marriage 15 years ago, files for full custody of their 2 older children. They're teenagers now, old enough to Google their father's name, old enough to see the videos. My kids won't talk to me, Stephen tells his lawyer in a hearing I attend for the estate case. They think I'm a monster. You are, I say from across the courtroom. 3 months after graduation. The estate hearing is the last piece. Dad's will, the $2.3 million, the business, the house. Stephen Garce, of course, claims the bloodline clause is discriminatory, claims Dad was mentally incompetent. Dave Patterson demolishes the argument in 45 minutes. Samuel Anderson was examined by 2 physicians in the weeks before his death, Dave says. Both certified him as mentally competent. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was protecting his legitimate heirs from fraud. Dave presents Dad's journal, the entries, the dates, the meticulous documentation. Samuel Anderson spent 10 years gathering evidence. Dave continues. He opened that safety deposit box not for himself, but to ensure his son would have proof. He changed his will specifically to force this truth into the light. Judge Paulson reads Dad's journal, all of it. The courtroom is silent. Mr. Samuel Anderson demonstrated extraordinary foresight, the judge finally says. His concern for his son's welfare, even posthumously, is evident in every page. The will stands as written. He looks directly at Stephen. You defrauded your brother. You betrayed your family. You have forfeited any claim to this estate. The gavel falls. The estate of Samuel Anderson is awarded in its entirety to Robert Anderson. Case closed. Stephen's lawyer won't even look at him. I walk out of the courthouse with Nathan, Aunt Patricia, Dave Patterson. Dad would be proud, Nathan says. Yeah, I say, I think he would. I donate $100,000 to the county hospital in Dad's name, the Samuel Anderson Memorial Fund. For families who can't afford care, Nathan's tuition at Johns Hopkins is secured. Pre-med, 4 years. He'll be a doctor. He'll help people. Dad would have loved that. I keep the business, Anderson Manufacturing. It employs 200 people. I'm not letting Stephen's betrayal destroy their livelihoods. I see Lily twice a month. Supervised visits at a family center. She still calls me Dad. I don't correct her. Why can't I live with you? She asks during visit number 4. Because the court says you need to be with your mom right now, but I'll always be here, okay? I'll always show up. Even though I'm not really yours? My throat tightens. You'll always be mine, Lily. Biology doesn't change 9 years of bedtime stories. It doesn't change who taught you to ride a bike. DNA doesn't make someone a father. Showing up does. She hugs me, small arms around my neck. Some bonds transcend biology. 6 months later, Nathan and I drive to the cemetery on a Saturday morning, early May, trees blooming, birds singing. Dad's grave is in the Anderson family plot. The headstone is simple, black granite, gold lettering, Samuel Anderson, 1953, 2025. Beloved father, protector, keeper of truth. Nathan carries white lilies. I carry Dad's journal. We stand in silence for a while, just breathing, being present. I got my first semester grades, Nathan says finally. 4.0 GPA, organic chemistry, biology, psychology, aced them all. Dad would be proud. I think about him every day, in my ethics class especially. The professor talks about moral courage, about doing the right thing when it costs you. Nathan touches the headstone. Grandpa lived that, even when it killed him. Yeah, he did. I kneel. Place the journal at the base of the headstone. I brought this back to you, Dad, I say quietly. Your words, your protection. I don't need it anymore. The truth is out. Everyone knows what you knew. Everyone knows you were right. Nathan kneels beside me, places his hand on mine on the gravestone. Thank you, Nathan says to the grave, for protecting my dad, for protecting me, for loving us enough to become the bad guy so we could have proof. I pull the photo from my wallet. Lily, blonde curls, gap-toothed smile. I still see her, Dad, I say. Twice a month, she calls me Dad. I don't correct her, because you taught me that some bonds transcend biology, that family is who shows up, who stays, who protects. Nathan unbuckles his watch, Dad's watch, the Omega Seamaster he's worn every day since graduation. Look what Grandpa left me, Nathan says, showing it to the gravestone like Dad can see. I wear it to every class, every exam, every time I need courage. He turns the watch over, reads the inscription aloud, blood doesn't lie. But a father's love never dies, I add softly, even from the grave. The wind moves through the cemetery oaks, warm, gentle. For just a moment, I swear I feel Dad's hand on my shoulder, the way he used to when I was Nathan's age, when he'd stand behind me, proud, present. Your father knew more than he said. Dave's voice, Nathan's voice, my own voice in my head. Dad knew everything. He knew love. He knew truth. He knew how to protect what mattered most, and he did, even after death. Nathan and I stand, arms around each other, father and son at a father's grave. 3 generations of Anderson men, connected by truth, by integrity, by love that transcends lies. Come on, Nathan says. Emma's making lunch. She wants to hear about Grandpa, about how he did all this. She won't believe it. She will, because we have proof. We have the journal, the evidence, the story. We walk back to the car, the cemetery behind us, the future ahead. I glance back once at Dad's headstone, the journal resting at its base. Thank you, I whisper. The watch on Nathan's wrist catches the sunlight, ticks steadily, constant. Blood doesn't lie. But a father's love, real love, the kind that protects and sacrifices and endures, that never dies. Not even death can kill that. If you have a found family story, someone who wasn't related by blood but saved you, raised you, or fought for you when your real family didn't, share it below. Let's honor the people who chose to love us. And if my father's voice helped you see something in your own life, hit subscribe. Because some truths are worth fighting for, even from the grave.